This may be the most important video you watch for building a Dark Magician deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel post Dark Magician support. How's it going, Habibis? My name is King Maddie, and before we get started, I do want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for reaching 7,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. I am at a loss for words. The amount of growth that we've seen over just the last couple weeks has been astonishing. So thank you guys so much. I'm so looking forward to the future because I think that this channel has a lot of potential, and I think we got a very strong structure with you guys. Because I read through the comments. You guys know I like to answer through all my comments, as many as I can, and it's just the overwhelming amount of appreciation and kindness towards me and towards other people. It really, it brings some light to a very difficult world sometimes. So I'm happy that I have you guys, that we have each other. Thank you guys so much. Now, as a thank you to you guys, I want to make this video where I'm talking about all the different deck lists for Dark Magician. Now, the new support has given us a myriad of ways to play this deck. There's not one particular wrong way to play it now, I'd say. So we're going to go over some of the key engines and the most important benefits and cons to playing each in this video today as a special gift to you guys, because I know how much you guys like deck lists. I know how much you guys want to test with Fiendsmith and Dracotail and different engines. So I'm going to try to show you guys what I cooked up. Now, I will say this is probably like a part one of maybe a 2 or 3 part video series, mini series if you want to call it that, because I haven't tested some of these. So I do want to come back in the future after maybe a month or two and see if I'd make changes. What do I think about the list? Stuff like that. So I do want to get started because this might take a little bit longer. Like I said, the structure of the video, we're going to just be talking about some pros and cons of engines, as well as how I think the optimal way of playing them is. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the many ways that you could play Dark Magician. Alrighty, Habibis, so the first deck list should look very familiar to you guys. It is the one that we took on a 13-game winning streak when D-Mod first got released. It was very fun. If you guys want to see the highlights to that, as well as a anniversary update breakdown, check out this video right above me here. Now, a couple things I want to talk about really quickly. One is when you see these side decks in the list that I'm going to show for the rest of this video, don't pay attention to them. Those are just there for me to basically have as like a bookmark tab, essentially. Random stuff that I want to test later on, I'll put in there. I want to test Dark Magical Circle later, that kind of thing. I just have it close by. So don't pay attention to the side deck. Now, in this video, you're going to see deck lists that are 40 cards, 60 cards, and everything in between. As I've evolved as a deck builder, I've come to realize I don't care if it's a 47 card list or a 53 card list or whatever weird number it is. If it works, it works. And we've proven time and time again, mathematically as well as with results, that we can make these decks very consistent, even if it's a 60 card list, just by tweaking ratios, tweaking hand traps and starters and all that stuff. Now, with that said, I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of different lists. So if you are purists out there, or if you are a 40 card strictest out there, you're going to see a deck list that works for you. Trust me, okay? I'm going to have some 40 card builds. You're going to be entertained. I promise you that. Now, let's talk about this list in particular. So this list, what we're going to talk about is the big 3 engines. I'm going to give some pros and cons of the big 3 of all the engines in this video, starting off with Aza and Shining Sarc, and later on we'll talk about Primite. Now, Aza and Shining Sarc serve very similar purposes. They're 1 card starters that get you into D-Mod. They, from a pros perspective, they both are able to be done very consistently to get to D-Mod. And let's talk about Aza first. Aza sets up an Omni Negate with Ilya Sylvia. It has the Deception, which is also kind of a 1.5 card combo. It is very good at helping us set up our Baron de Dark Magician play, which is very important, especially if you're playing the Crimson Dragon Disc pattern line, which we've talked about in our combo video. Very powerful line. You're going to see some deck lists where I'm playing it, I'm not playing it. It's totally up to you. Personal decision there. But yeah, it allows us to do that because we have a level 6, so it allows us to facilitate the Churroza line. And then also one of the big pros of Diablo Star is that it does allow us to play a lot of synergistic DM spells. So Susurrus works really well if your expiration date, because of Gaze of Timaeus on Dragoon hits, you could bring back a banished Dragoon, so that's pretty good. So that's a reason to play Susurrus. Also, there's Reselia. Reselia works really good with basically all your Dark Magician fusions except Dragoon because it can't be targeted. But there's also, this card also works really well with Dark Magician, the Pharaoh's Servant, so something I'll definitely test out. But yeah, some synergistic DM spells, which are pretty cool. Now, some cons to the Azamina line. It does require a discard. You're going to see that's going to be a common theme with these deck lists. Every single thing with Dark Magician now has to do with hand economy. Our boss monsters require discards. Our starters require discards. The good thing about Diabell Star is you could use, for instance, a card on the field. So sometimes if I have Diabell Star and Shining Sarc, I'll do Shining Sarc first, and then I'll get rid of the Shining Sarcophagus that's on the field after I've used it, so that I'm able to keep cards in my hand, because that's very important. So yeah, that's one of the downsides to Diabell Star. Also, she is imperm susceptible. She's not ash susceptible, so that's pretty good. And yeah, I think that's basically it in terms of cons. Oh, she does require 1 brick, the Hollowed Azamina. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. Now, let's talk about Shining Sarc. Same thing with cons. She's ash and imperm susceptible. You do have to be careful with how she's summoned in order for her to get the Dark Magician Girl name. She only becomes Dark Magician Girl when she's summoned by her effect of discarding a card from the hand. That's the other con. She takes a discard. It has to be a discard. And yeah, I mean, other than that, she does, Shining Sarc Engine requires a brick as well. Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic. And in terms of pros, those are the cons. In terms of pros, she does help us get a +2 off of our Soul Servant, which is huge for the deck. I love that. She is able to dodge Imperms and Veilers because of Gaze of Timaeus being able to go into Timaeus, the United Magical Dragon. So that is very powerful as well. She helps us facilitate our level 6 plays as well because she's a level 6 into Baron to Dark Magician. And yeah, obviously she's a 1-card combo into DMod. And in terms of another good thing about her is she's able to be done consistently because of this Miasma card. So I really like the Shining Sarc engine. Overall, I think it's one of the most consistent engines that we could set up for the deck. There's some downsides, but obviously I think the pros heavily outweigh the cons. Now, to continue talking about this deck list really quickly, Dominus Impulse. You're gonna see some lists with Dominus Impulse, some lists without it. I think Dominus Impulse is a very important card. A lot of people have asked me, is it that important? Yes, it is. Yeah, it shuts off some of our hand traps, but that's okay. Realistically, if you're going second, you'll activate these first, and then you'll activate Impulse last. So it really doesn't matter. I think Impulse is a must if you can, and the biggest downside to Impulse is you can't play Primite with it because it shuts down Earth and Ether Barrel. Sucks, but whatever. So yeah, that's the main deck. Like I said, I have a combo video as well as you guys can see some highlights with this deck that I've used. I've been using this predominantly in ranked. It's been very, very successful. You'd love to see it. In terms of the extra deck, we already talked about the Dispatter stuff. Personal choice there. I'm playing Double Goon. I can't imagine not playing Double Goon. I don't know why. I used to not play Double Goon. Now I feel like, especially if you're playing Verte, you play Double Goon. If you're not playing Verte, then okay, I could see it. But Double Goon is the way. I've summoned two different Dragoons very often. I really like it. Master of Chaos has the biggest glow up out of anything post Dark Magician support. Super powerful card. I wish I can utilize the second effect, but I don't play a lot of light monsters, so what are you gonna do? The only light monster in the deck, this and Selene actually, is Timaeus, the United Magical Dragon. I do like him because he's a disruption that doesn't require discard, one of the few that we have. And then the flex spot is Dark Paladin. I think Dark Paladin, it's up to you, personal choice. I love him. Nostalgia factor plays a role, I'm not gonna lie. But also, too, I've won games being able to negate 3 spell cards of my opponent. So, very powerful stuff. The elephant in the room, if you want to call it that, I play 1 DMod. I think 1 DMod is enough. I have not had a situation where I need a second DMod. I know people play it 1 to 2. I really think 1 is fine. So, totally up to you. And then, rounding out the extra deck is the IP, Selene, SP stuff. I've showcased this a lot. You can go into a double Dragoon using IP and Selene. Interesting combo there, totally up to you. I've gone between WP and Selene though, because I feel like Selene I don't go into as often as I thought I would. And WP Fancy Ball is a new card that was released in Master Duel. Very cool. Has a lot of usability. Like I said, I'm still testing it. So this is the main deck that I've been playing. It's a lot of fun. I really think it's super consistent with the Future Silences and the Gadget Trios. Something I think you guys should try out. Now let's go into the next deck list that we're going to talk about. All right, we're going to go through these a little bit quicker. So this is basically the exact same list, just some tweaked ratios. You'll see no Gadget Trio. You'll see one less Future Silence. You'll see we're playing this line just to experiment with it. 45 card list, up to you if you want to play it this way. I do want to say that the less cards you have in the deck, the more likely you're going to see the big 3 bricks. All right, so keep that in mind. 50 cards hides this a little bit better. Also, it allows us to play a few more starters, a few more hand traps, that kind of thing. So this is my 45 card list. Now let's go into a different one. All right, the third piece of the Dark Magician Engine supplement trinity is Primite. We are going to be talking about Primite here primarily. Not going to talk about Aza. Like I said, we already talked about it. And be sure to watch the whole video, guys, because I am going to talk about random cards. Like, for instance, Preparation of Rites. I'm playing it 1-to-1 with IOC. How I don't necessarily love that. It hasn't bit me in the butt too much. I wish I could play it at 2-to-2. I'm trying to make changes to where I could do that. But I do love Preparation of Rites in this deck because it's a 1-card combo. So we're trying to be as consistent as possible. Now, with that being said, the Primite engine allows us to really raise and elevate the floor and consistency of this deck. Primite is a big powerhouse. Some pros of the engine. You're able to set up Drill Beam. Drill Beam is a very powerful Omni Negate. You're able to set up a 1-card combo with Primite Roar. You are able to have some synergy here with the Azamina package. That is very good as well. Because like I said with Shining Sarc, how you can get rid of Shining Sarc to summon Diabellstar to keep, hand advantage. You can also get rid of Drill Beam, or you can get rid of Lordly Load to summon Diabellstar. Those are very big things. If you're able to keep cards in your hand, that's very huge. Now, some cons of the engine. Obviously, you're not always going to be able to set up Drill Beam. We don't play Eternal Soul. So it's not like you're always summoning DM. Okay, so keep that in mind. With that said, though, we do play a lot of Primite cards. So there's a good chance you'll have a Primite Lordly Load or an extra Roar in your hand or something. Another con is if you're actually doing the Roar as a 1-card combo, you're not going to be able to get the second effect to banish an opponent's normal summon monster. You're also going to have to banish your own DM. So that sucks. Also, with that being said, you have to play probably at least 2 Dark Magicians if you're going to play Primite Roar. So, and then here we're playing 3 because we're playing Verte. So, keep that in mind. That could hurt a little bit in terms of consistency. And other than that, I would say that this is it's a very recursive engine. So I think that's very helpful. We are playing the extra deck Nether, which I'll just say, if you're playing against a lot of Yummy, very powerful there. It's the GOAT against Yummy, but other than that, I don't know if he really has a lot of purposes. He does have good synergy with the Verte. So setting up him and Anaconda to go into Dragoon, very good stuff. Playing Primite Fusion too, I like it. I think it's something that can be used off of Verte. I think it can get you into Timaeus, and it can kind of circumnavigate that banishing of the DM, which stings a little bit. So that's the Primite engine, essentially. I do want to tell you guys, I've been answering the comments and telling people a lot of times, because people say, okay, I have this engine, I don't have that engine. Between the big 3, Azamina, Primite, Diabellstar, Azamina, Primite, Shining Sarc, you could play Shining Sarc, Primite, Azamina, Shining Sarc, whatever you want. Pick 2 engines, throw them together. Heck, pick 3, totally up to you. You're going to see later a deck list that has all 3 in there. So this is just basically dealer's choice. Up to you, whatever you want to play. Last thing we'll talk about is Hieratic Seals. Hieratic Seals is very good. It's a great disruption, great for follow-up. I am playing 1 Imduck. I did want to play Spirit with Eyes of Blue, but I just can't fit it in. And I felt like Imduck is more likely going to be the guy that's going to help me get to Hieratic Seals, because I'm not going to really, unless it's Ether Barrel and Magician Souls, Spirit's not going to come up. And even if it is Magician Souls, I could summon Dark Magician off of him and then go into Imduck. So I just think Imduck is the better option to go into Hieratic Seals. If you play a Primite engine, you're going to know Hieratic Seals is kind of your boss monster. He's going to be a focal point of your end board, so definitely a must here. Anyways, let's go into a different deck list now. Okay, so I did mention we are going to see all 3 engines put together. This is that list. Now, the biggest pro to it, we already talked about the pros and cons of the big 3 engines. The biggest pro to all of them together is the fact that there is a lot of resiliency. So you get impermed on one thing and then you just go into the next engine. It's really, really powerful from that regard. I really like this one because, I mean, we're still playing a good amount of hand traps, 16 non-engine slots, which is still very good. 50 cards, it's very consistent. I think that this list has a lot of potential. It's one I'm looking forward to testing. Now you're gonna see I'm going to get progressively smaller. We're gonna get this list all the way down to 40. So I know you guys are gonna get so excited about that one. We'll talk about that one later. But we are also going to talk about the next deck list, which is going to be more of a Dark Magician feel, more Dark Magician spells and traps. So for my purists out there, this is going to be the deck list for you. Alrighty, ladies and gents, this is my more pure deck. Yes, Shining Sarc is pure DM, like I said earlier. We are playing Gandora. You know, it's Yuki, it has the Yuki feel. I did get some inspiration for this from Royal Games. I'll link their channel below. It is a very powerful deck. I think there's a lot of consistency here, especially with the Future Silences. I love this deck. It has a heavy Dark Magician feel to it. Obviously, it's pure. So there's that. You know, we're playing the DM triangle, all that stuff. Really good going here. I can't wait to play this one. I'm definitely going to be doing this one on stream. So if you guys want to check out my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/KingMatty, I will be playing this very, very soon. Extra deck, pretty straightforward. No Baron, no none of that stuff. Just straight up DM fusions. Chaos Angel, which is our honorary synchro from back in the day. And then we have a small link package here. So very cool stuff. I do like this deck list a lot. Now let's go into a deck list that's kind of similar to the one we just saw previously. Alrighty, now we're getting crazy. So this is basically a mixture of the last 2 deck lists we saw. We're playing the big 3 in engines, but we're also playing some DM spells and traps here, which is interesting, right? So for my DM players that really, they feel like they still have to have the option to set up the DM triangle, and they also want to play the deck at its most powerful, this is for you. I think because you are stuffing some stuff in here that, you know, gives some bloat to the deck, it's probably going to be a little less powerful going second, for instance, because we're not playing as much non-engine. You're going to have some conflicting interests when you're deciding, okay, do I search for circle or do I search for gaze or do I finish my DM triangle? You know, these are personal preferences, so totally up to you. With that being said, guys, even the worst deck list I'm going to show you is head and shoulders above anything we were playing previously. That's how good our new support is. And when Pharaoh's Servant comes out, oh my gosh, it's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be crazy when Pharaoh's Servant comes out. But until then, you're going to be stuck with this deck list. It's very strong, despite it having some bloat to it, but it's fun. And I'll definitely be trying this one too. I did mention earlier that you can basically play one engine with Dark Magician, and it's totally up to you. This is an example of that. So here we're just playing Dark Magician Azamina. We're playing, you know, a little bit bigger of a Azamina package. We're playing 3 Deception because Deception acts as a 1.5 card combo. You play Deception and tribute one of your monsters, and then boom, you got full combo, which is very good. We're playing Rasilia, because I do like Rasilia. You know, you could play whatever, Susurrus. You could play Sinful Spoils of Subversion, which is a good board breaker. Totally up to you guys on that. But yeah, I just wanted to demonstrate that we are able to play, you know, anything. So you guys just saw that pure list, which is basically Shining Sarc in DM. This is Azamina in DM. So now we're going to show you guys a Primite in DM list. All right, I think a lot of people are going to like this list just because it's pretty widely accepted in the Dark Magician community to play Primite, even for like some more of the pure fans. So I like this list in particular because it does allow us to play some Dark Magician spells, a few more like Secrets of Dark Magic, as well as Dark Magical Circle, just because we have the space for it. If you look at the extra deck down here, it is split 50-50 almost. You know, the links on the right, the fusions on the left, all Dark Magician fusions, and then we got some, you know, dragon links over here. I do like this list, like I said. I think it definitely has a lot of consistency, a very high floor. And I do want to remind you guys that at the end of the video, we're going to go over a deck list that I think you guys are going to really like. that is very, let's just say it's something that a lot of people in the community have asked for. So yeah, I'm going to try my best to deliver it for you guys. Anyways, now let's go into a different one. All right, so it would not be a King Matty deck list breakdown if I didn't include a 60 card Dark Magician deck. Now, in the past, the interesting about this deck is you could play it so many different ways. In the past, you've seen me, go with more of a DM heavy approach, playing 3 circles and setting up the DM triangle. I do want to tell you guys, if you are looking to set up the Dark Magician triangle, I think playing Dark Magical Circle at 3 is very key to that. I think that'll help you a lot. It's definitely made it to where I could set that up more consistently, but we're not going for that in this particular build. We are still going for our 1-card combos, trying our best to, utilize those and do them as often as possible, have consistency in that regard. We're playing a lot of hand traps, so we're able to go compete going second as well as go first. Now, there is a conflict of interest with the extra deck because we aren't able to play the Chirozzo stuff. Extra deck is super tight, so very much you can make your artistic decisions on that, however you want to play the extra deck. Me, this is what I've been testing out. And like I said, yeah, 60 card, Unga Bunga, as Loza would call it, is just fun. It's very fun, and it's very strong. Honestly, I would put this as one of the top 5 and maybe even top 3 strongest decks I'm going to show you. It just amazes you at how much resiliency this deck has and how consistent it is despite it being 60, and the the propaganda in the Dark Magician community that 60 card decks are inconsistent is just completely weird. So this deck is where it's at. Trust me, it's so good that even Team Samurai X1 thought so, and he made a deck very similar to it. So if you don't believe me, believe Team Samurai X1. Alrighty, now we're getting into some spice. A lot of you guys asked for a Dracotail Dark Magician deck, and I do have some Dracotail DM videos on my channel which showcase what the deck can do. So be sure to check those out. I'll link one above here because I think they're very fun. You could obviously go into Magia with this, go into Dark Paladin. If you're playing King of the Swamp, all that stuff is possible. But with this particular build, we're going for a little bit different of approach. We're still trying to use our 1-card combo of Shining Sarc. So that is something that helps us get to DMod a little bit more consistently. Also, because we have so much access to spell cards, I feel like it's okay that we're only playing 10, because getting to Ketu or getting to Rahu is very consistent if you're able to, make your Dracotail plays. So that will enable us to set up DMod, which is obviously the focal point of the deck. So this is a very fun deck, very powerful. I'm definitely planning to do this one too on ranked. Can't wait to test it out. Let's go into another deck list for you guys. All right, so this is one that we cooked up for you guys that is very interesting. I got some inspiration from, I think it was Francis in the Discord, so shout out to them for this combo. I started to think, because a lot of people love Toy Box, and I love Toy Box myself. I started to think, how can we make this work? Okay, White Forest is the obvious synergistic engine that goes with this. So I said, let's try a Azamina, like a true Azamina Dark Magician deck with Toy Box. Now, I saw this combo here that is basically done. You could do it with Toy Box and Toy Soldier, either one. So I'm thinking if I end up testing this deck, which I will, I'm thinking about trying to play Toy Soldier at 2 to 3 because I think it's very important to have. But basically, that as well as Elzet or Sylvie can get you to facilitate a play that summons out Enlightenment Paladin. Now, Enlightenment Paladin here is a level 8 Synchro Dark Spellcaster. Level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster. What needs a level 6 or higher Dark Spellcaster? Dark Magician of Destruction. So basically your Toy Box engine can feed into your Dark Magician engine. Pretty cool stuff there. I tested it a little bit. I did a few test runs with this deck, and I really liked it. So I can't wait to take it to the ladder. Hopefully you guys will test this one out. And let's go into one last one before we go into the true one last one. Alrighty, back to the 60 card list. And this time we are playing Fiendsmith. Now in Master Duel, we do have Moon of the Closed Heaven, and this allows us to do so many cool things. Not only does it allow us just to take 2 bodies to get to the Fiendsmith engine, but if you've seen my video in the past where I talked about the strongest Master Duel combo for Dark Magician, this was before DMod came out. It is still applicable here, and it basically allows us to go into our Shining Sarc plays through Moon of the Closed Heaven. And that's all done through, actually, I should say, through a Bawaku. So I'll link it above. I have the combo breakdown. It's very good. It allows us to bridge from 2 bodies, basically, to get to Shining Sarc. And obviously, once you get to Shining Sarc, you get to D-Mod, boom, Dark Magician plays. I think this deck is going to be very fun. I have kept because we're only playing, Fiendsmith obviously is a very small engine in the deck. Shining Sarc is not too big either. So we are able to now play a lot of Dark Magician spells and traps in this. So this has a very interesting style. Honestly, the main deck, if you look at it, it looks very similar to some of my Fiendsmith Dark Magician deck lists that I had. The video that I linked above for you guys earlier with that combo, you're going to see it looks very similar. The deck list is going to look very similar to this one, except probably Gaze of Tamaya. So definitely an interesting deck. I can't wait to try this one out. Now let's go to the final deck list that you guys have been waiting for. Alrighty, Habibis, this is what you guys have been waiting for. A 40 card list that includes all 3 of our primary engines, Primite, Shining Sarc, and Diabell Star. Now, I really think this list has a lot of potential. I think it's very powerful. We're playing 11 non-engine slots, which is a very good number for a 40 card list. Wish it was a little bit higher, but hey, gotta make some sacrifices. Anyways, though, I think this list has a lot of potential. The reason I prefer the 50 card list, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, is just because, like I said, the 50 card list allows for more non-engine slots. It also hides bricks a little bit better. We are playing 2 DMs here, Hallowed Aza Mina. And also, I feel like it allows us to have more 1-card combos, a few more, which, if you do crunch the numbers, kind of boosts the percentage chance of seeing a 1-card combo. So we're not playing Future Silence in this. We're not playing Gadget Trio, you'll notice. So little things like that can really change the dynamic of the deck. But with that being said, I think this deck is very good. I think it's very consistent. It's one I look forward to playing on the ladder. We are playing the Crimson Dragon package, but that's personal choice. You can take it out, leave it in, totally up to you. Now, guys, I'm going to show you guys the deck lists in YGO Omega. All right, I'm down here now, hi guys. So I'm going to be going over the deck list here in YGO Omega. You have a list right here. Like I said, side deck doesn't matter. And I'm going to try to go in order as best I can for you guys. And what you guys can do is basically, if you see a deck that you wanted to try out, something from the video, you'll see the name, right? If you rewind in the video that we just, went over, you'll see the name of these deck lists, and then you could come find it in this part of the video and see the deck list, see the cards, card by card breakdown of everything. And hopefully this helps you guys out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. I think this was the next one. This is the Primite one right here. I think there's a lot of good benefits to talking about deck lists. So hopefully, if you guys want to see more stuff like this, like I said, I would like to do a part 2. This is the one that had some DM spells and traps in it, which is cool. This is the pure DM deck list, the Shining Sarc engine. And we got Aza Mina DM. Yeah, if you guys want to see a part 2 to this, I definitely would like to make another version of it. So maybe one that's more updated after I've done some testing, so we can see kind of how this deck fares in the ladder. But yeah, you have to tell me. So let me know in the comments below, as well as let me know by liking the video. Your feedback and liking and leaving comments and subbing to the channel helps out so much. This is the toy box deck list right here. And the interesting thing about this one is we're playing Dark Magician Girl. That's really cool. That is really, really cool that we get to play Dark Magician Girl. Here's the Fiendsmith 60 card deck. I'm really excited to try this one out. I think I showed the Dracotail one already. Yeah, Dracotail. And here's the 60 card. I think I skipped this one. 60 card DM deck list. Our little 60 card Unga Bunga with all 3 engines. And then I believe last but not least, you got the 40 card one that we went over just now. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys can use this video as a foundation for your deck. You can make some tweaks to it, make it better. Let me know what you guys changed. Let me know how it works for you guys on the ladder. I really think this is our time as Dark Magician players to succeed in Master Duel finally with our own stuff, with our own combos. So this is a lot of fun. Really take advantage of this video. I hope it helped you guys. If it did, leave a like for me. Consider subbing to the channel. Thank you guys again for 7K. On to the next. I'll see you guys later. Take care of yourselves. Go out of your way to make somebody's day special. Peace and love, Habibis.